There's been progress, and much of that progress has been down to the convention that the Council of Europe passed. It caused countries to act, it caused countries to work together, but certainly in particular over the last 2 or 3 years there's been a growing awareness that this problem of slavery, of trafficking is still with us. That's partly been brought about by the increase in migration that we've seen both across the Mediterranean but through different countries. So countries like Italy and Greece and Spain in particular have seen real increases in the numbers of migrants, and of course with that unfortunately has come the ruthless exploitation of criminal gangs. I think what that has done is shown that there is a need for much greater international cooperation and countries working together. Every country, if you ask them, will say it's a top priority for us. It's something that we've got right at the top of our agenda. But there is a need for us to review the progress that's been made, to look at the gaps, which are about sharing of information, about stopping people being trafficked in the first place, and also recognising that often when you talk about this, people will say, oh, it's about sexual exploitation, it's about girls and young women being trafficked for sexual exploitation, whereas of course much of it is now to do with forced labour as well. So it's, I think the progress that needs to be made in every single country, including my own in the UK, is for countries to work much more closely together, to look at the best practices in terms of identifying the victims and then caring for those victims once they've been identified, and ensuring that they're seen as victims and not as criminals, and in particular not seen as immigration offenders, which is often a problem in different countries, including my own in the UK. I think there is a need for us to be more vigilant. I mean, have to be moved. People have to be moved, and sometimes they're moved in a way which we often think of them, and some are, in lorries, and nobody moved at night. But often people are trafficked through transport networks. Once they're in Europe, they're through the existing networks, through railway stations, through airports, through seaports. And the training of people to recognise the signs of trafficking, I think is an important step forward. It's important that law enforcement agencies working at these various places are trained, but also that the victims themselves have the confidence that if they are identified, that they have the confidence to work with law enforcement agencies. So many of them, they feel they're treated as criminals. They feel as though they've been arrested and that they're going to be put in jail. And of course, the traffickers are very good at saying to them, of course, if you do cooperate with any law enforcement or don't try to escape, don't try and come back to us, we know where your families are.